caladiums are tropical, but so are these exquisite 8-inch hibiscus flowers.
Aren't these gorgeous?
They are. I think this might be one of my favorite flowers.
These are like the photo op flower.
Wow.
These are like the paparazzi. Go over by those flowers. Let's take your picture.
Yes, correct.
And when you have a party in your yard, everybody's going to want to stand by these. They are big, beautiful 8-inch blooms, and they're overlapping. They almost look like a double layer of blooms. They're so pretty, as you can see. So you can choose between one of the two colors. If you can get both, I think they look great together. So we have your Valentine Crush, that's the red. And then the pink one is called All Eyes on Me. Don't you love people that name plants?
Yes.
It's like, who are those people? They're so creative. So that one has that red eye in the center surrounded by beautiful pink blooms. And these are going to be your favorites because a lot of hibiscus gets really ginormous. They get as tall as the side of your house. Some of the branches go cockamamie down and up and all weird shapes. This hibiscus stays a really nice 3 to 4 feet in a rounded shape, so it doesn't get as big, which means you can put it in a big pot. Some of them you can't, but the flowers on this are just as big as the ginormous plants.
Wow.
So you get the compact shape with the really big flowers.
Now, in a large pot, like what size?
I'd say whiskey barrel for this. Like we're talking 11 to 12 or larger. And in the ground, you just need a space that's about 4 feet that this will fill up. It'll get that big by the second season. It's going to get about half that size. You will get flowers this season on this hibiscus. But this is a winter hardy hibiscus. So what you need to remember is a lot of the hibiscus that if you're going over to Lowe's or Home Depot or places in your town that sell flowers, those rows and rows of hibiscus that you see on the tables are tropical. So the ones in pots.
Okay.
So those mean that you got to replace them every year unless you live in a really warm climate. They're not going to survive the winter, and they're also not a good house plant. So think of all the money you're spending every year on hibiscus. This hibiscus comes to you as a big, giant bare root, which is going to grow quickly into a big, giant plant. So this has already been a large plant. We dug it up. Look at the big root base on this. So all you're going to do is plant this in the ground or in a pot up to the trunk. And then after about, I don't know, depending on when you plant it, by the first week of June, you're going to start seeing activity here. Leaves sprouting, stems growing, and it will then grow very, very quickly once it starts. It's a slow starter because it's a summer flower, not spring. But once it starts, you're going to get months and months of beautiful big blooms all the way into the fall. And then at that point, you'll just cut it back again and let it go to sleep again until next year. Even in a pot, Rosina, this will stay in a pot to -30. So even zone 4, if you don't have a place in your garden to plant this, put it in a big pot, leave it outside all winter. It's totally fine.
That's great.
Yeah.
It's fascinating. It really is. And to be able to say, this is going to be in your backyard or your front deck or your back deck, or even if you have a balcony, it just, you know, this is all you need.
Yeah, I mean, if you have space for a large pot, you don't have to have space in your yard.
Exactly.
And, you know, the first year I grew hibiscus, I had them in pots, and I thought I killed them because about this time of the year, late April, early May, they looked like a dead stick. And I thought, oh, man, I thought I was a great gardener. I messed this up. But you know what? I was wrong, and don't you get impatient because these guys have a little alarm clock set for June 1st. They sleep in, but come June 1st, here they go, and pretty soon you'll have leaves, and pretty soon you'll have the flowers. They just start a little later.
Look at Crystal. Crystal seeing these flowers. Hi, Crystal.
Crystal was over doing Denim & Company, right? And now she's like, what are you doing here, Carolyn? I'm selling some flowers. Hi, girl. She's our beautiful model.
Beautiful.
You know her from D&Co.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys just pick one or the other. And these are hard to find in this particular hardy variety that's very cold tolerant, and also hard to find in this size. Because remember, if you want the size of that tropical hibiscus that grows in a pot, but you want something that comes back every year, this is the one. And look at these flowers. Aren't they gorgeous?
They're incredibly gorgeous. That light pink with that deep, deep red in the middle.
That's all eyes on me.
All eyes on me, baby. And then we have the Valentine's Crush.
And notice the fluffy, look at the ripply, fluffy petals that overlap each other. So it looks like a double layer of petals. They're so beautiful. And these are a pollinator magnet, hummingbird landing pad. Hummingbirds absolutely love these. This also is a variety, Rosina, that's very disease resistant because often hibiscus have a bad reputation because Japanese beetles and other insects just attack them constantly. You end up with holes in the leaves and black spots, and you know, they just get torn up by the bugs. These are very disease resistant, so you're not going to have that problem with these. So these are going to give you a tropical look no matter where you live, all the way down to zone 4. And then, you know, and if you're in the really, really hot area, Arizona desert or South Texas, Miami, San Diego, you can still grow these, even though we typically say to zone 9. If you're higher than zone 9, just make sure these are getting plenty of water and that they get a break from the hot afternoon sun into the shade, which is another great reason to keep these in a big pot. You can kind of move them around.
Will these do well if I want to make a little bouquet for my
absolutely.
my table?
Yes, you can cut these. They are not particularly uber fragrant, but they do have a nice fragrance. And you can cut these, not worry that you're going to run out of flowers, because I want you to, we're on the red one. Look at all the buds on this plant.
Yeah.
So you can see there's a lot of action going on here. There's different stages of blooming happening. You'll have a blanket of flowers on top of this constantly all summer.
How could you not want to get this home?
Look at us standing. Look at this photo op. Picture this in your yard. If you've got mom and dad's anniversary or somebody's engagement party or a birthday or just a backyard barbecue, everybody's going to want to take their picture by these flowers.
Absolutely. Or take the pictures of the flowers themselves, just like what we're seeing on the screen. And 132192 is the item number, and they're going to be coming home to you when it's perfect time to plant them in your own garden. And don't forget to get the potting soil. If you're getting anything, get the Roberta's potting soil so that you can make it very easy
and the Bounty
yourself.
fertilizer.
And the Bounty
They're both
fertilizer.
excellent for your garden.
Thank you.